Hi, everyone, and welcome to Chair Yoga. Today, we're going to get started with a sort of a balancing breath practice. It's balancing in the sense of your energy body. I've used it often. I just thought I'd go into it with a little more emphasis, a little more descriptive information for you about what we're trying to accomplish. The energy body is influenced by the moon and the sun. Let's just put that as a broad stroke. And you hear about it in reference to traditional Chinese medicine as yin and yang. The yin uh, side of the body, or the yin characteristics in the body versus yang. And that is what I want to balance out today with our breath work. So whenever I have suggested that we focus our breathing on the left side or the right side, that's exactly what I am intending to do. So let's get started with eyes closed and knowing that we're going to shift our breathing from left nostril in and left nostril out. I'm just going to focus and keep it real simple. That will just switch from breathing through the left side of the body, go to the right side of the body. And again, we're going to do it left side again and right side again. So we'll do it twice on each side. And while we're doing that, I'll just be giving you some ideas about what parts of you, how you experience yourself on that side of the body in terms of this tradition. So let's close the eyes. Get yourself in a position where you feel like you're sitting well. You're sitting up nice and tall, and you've got yourself balanced in your pelvis. So let's just get those basics, that fundamental good posture and right alignment in the body. Feel your feet to the earth. Take a big cleansing breath. Just breathe in through the nose and exhale it out of your mouth as a cleansing breath, and the sound of the sigh shows up. So big breath in. Ah. And then your eyes are closed. Bring your hands to a position that serves you. But if you're looking for my suggestion, and here I'm going to have you open your eyes again. If you decide to do the prana mudra is to take your thumb and kind of hold the pinky and the ring fingers down. So you just sort of left your hand in the peace sign and just let that lay on your lap. That's considered the prana or the breath mudra. So it might be a good one for us to focus on if you're interested in that. So closing your eyes and just feeling your breath moving just as it naturally does. Feeling your body in right alignment, knowing that this is our transition. We're transitioning now into this yoga experience. So bringing more mindfulness to our moment. So as we breathe in from the left side of the body and out through the left side of the body. So use your imagination and your intention to use your left nostril now to do the breathing both in and out. And see if you can bring any sort of awareness that it's the whole left side of the body that's breathing. You don't need to plug a nostril unless you want to, but you don't need to. You can do it with your intention because it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, this is the yin side of the body. This is associated with characteristics or values such as these: emotions, receiving, creating, loving, kindness, resting, reflective. It's associated with being. And this is the lunar side of the body. These are feminine qualities. Stay with that left side breathing for a few more breath cycles, both in and out. And then again, a little bit of information. Left side of the body is governed by the right brain. So sometimes you'll hear those characteristics described as right brain thinking or right brain characteristics, and that is associated with feminine qualities, but it works that way, that the left side of the body is governed by the right brain. Now let's just take a breath in and out through both nostrils, just a regular breath. It just helps you kind of reset the body, reset. Maybe you use that cleansing breath again and let your mouth just open out to that ah sound. And then settle back in and we'll shift. We're going to start breathing in and out from the right side. So the right nostril is doing the breathing both in and out. And that you're trying to incorporate your whole right side of your body. Use your imagination, use your intention. So we're going to balance these energies in the body. The right side of the body is the yang. It's characterized by such things as organizational order, solving problems. It's giving. It's moving the body. It has to do with following rules. That's kind of all in that idea of order. It is the solar connection. And this would be considered doing, whereas the feminine side is being, the masculine quality is doing. So we're breathing both in and out through the right side of the body for a few more breath cycles. And as you might guess, the right side of the body is governed by the left brain. Just balancing. We don't have to overthink this or try to memorize, or is this something important I should know about? It's just being aware of those qualities and how they are viewed in this tradition. And now let's take another cleansing breath, reset the body, inhale, just naturally, exhale. And we're going to revisit the left side of the body. So move into that with your intention and your imagination for one more round of breathing both in and out on the right side of the body, the right nostril. The left side. We move to the left side, and that the left nostril is breathing both in and out. Back to that feminine side, the yin. Let's give it 2 more breath cycles. Left side. Reset with a cleansing breath in and out. Another one like that, cleansing breath, reset. And move your breathing now to the right nostril. So this is our second round of moving into right side breathing. Use your imagination, use your intention to breathe into the yang part of our body, part of our energy body as well. One more breath cycle on that side of the body, and then your cleansing breath will follow as we reset. Reset now, and let your cleansing breath follow. Good. Let's get our block now as we begin to come into our practice. We're going to use the block between the thighs. I want you to take a moment to make sure you're still aligned in your pelvis. You feel that balance right to left. And you feel balance front to back as well, which is a good way of knowing if you're holding your shoulder carriage right over your hips. If we're too far forward in our position, we kind of lean into the pubic bone part of our mat. It brings your shoulders out of alignment with the hips. So finding yourself right squared over your hips is the balance front to back that I'm looking for. Palms down on your lap so you can feel yourself pushing into your legs, and you can feel that go all the way down to the soles of the feet. Find your breath now. Find a full breath coming in and out. Try to breathe through both nostrils if you can. If breathing using your mouth is the way you naturally breathe, that's what I want you to do. Breathe in a way that feels natural and comfortable. But if you can direct your breath as nostril breathing, I encourage you to do that. One more breath practice before we get into the movement. I want to see if we can really encourage movement, or I should say expansion, in the chest cavity. So as you breathe, use those 3-part breath. Inhale, 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 and then exhale it all the way. So each of those inhales offers more expansion. It's kind of an elevator ride. It starts low, comes up into the diaphragm area, and then finally you're at the very top of the chest cavity. So you could use that image, but in any event, it's 3, pulling in of that inhale before you resort to the exhalation process. So let's really encourage expansion through the chest cavity with 3-part breath. One more good breath. Great. Let's flip our hands now. Palms are facing up. Notice your feet. Notice your legs engaged as they squeeze that block. Pull the belly in just a bit so you can feel that your core strength, your abdominal wall has been engaged. Palms are open. Close eyes again. Close eyes for me so that you can identify your intention for class today. And as we open into the mudra of receptivity, what do I need? What do I need? How am I? How do I feel? And what do I need? And so it is. Just relax into that. Let it be as it is. If it's not well formulated, you don't feel like you've really nailed it with any particular words or thoughts, just let it, just trust the process. Like coming into and asking that question is going to help you really call forth what that intention, what is in your best and highest good for today. So let's begin. Let's sync up the breath as we raise arms up and palms come together. Exhale, bow into your heart. Take a pause here. Just stay with your heart center, bowing into that space as we begin our yoga. Inhale again. Exhale lands us in a T position. So we're opening up those strong arms. Put your mitten hands out. Get your fingers growing toward each other. Just squeeze the fingers together, but the thumb is extended and pointing back. Press your feet to the floor. So extending your strong arms like this is a part of the whole body helping you out. Good. Let's flip the hands so the palms are facing forward. Now we're going to draw a diagonal line. Make sure you're in a single plane so you don't have one arm pulling back and the other arm is forward. You want your arms to be in a single plane. Once you've arrived there, turn your head and your shoulders, whatever it takes, to look fully up toward the hand that's reaching toward the ceiling. Press your feet to the floor. Find your breath. Now, if you find yourself kind of clinging, there's any clutching going on, like sometimes we clutch in through the buttocks because we're trying to do this right and we kind of get robotic about it, dial that back. Smooth out your breath. And move your head as your head needs to move because we're stretching, we're moving into this for one reason and one reason only, and that is to discover our range of movement in our neck. How's that feel to look up? To change to the other side, I want you to drop your chin down towards your chest bone and roll slowly to look toward the hand that's reaching toward the floor. Our goal, once again, is to discover our range of movement. So gentle movements of the head, moving around to kind of loosen that up, makes sense. So follow your natural inclination here. And go back to smoothing out the breath in and out. So you're breathing deeply in the body. Let's bring our head to neutral now and extend your arms into that T, but I want you to open and close now. Open and pull your arms way back. And when you come forward to close, that's going to include a roundness of the back body and dropping your chin to your chest. So inhale, open. This is like doing our cow pose, and exhale, close, which is a lot like doing the the cat pose. So we're opening and closing. This is extending. This is rounding. This is an inhale. This is an exhale. Lift up, if you will, lift all the way up, reach toward the ceiling, press your feet to the floor, and come all the way down and as far back as you're able. So let's just move through those shoulder joints. No movement in the spine, or very, very little. Our efforting is in through the shoulders. Inhale up, land in your T once again, thumbs pointing back. You got those mitten hands on. Deepen the breath. Feel your feet, feel the block. Flip your hands so palms are facing forward. We're going to create that diagonal line the other way. You're going to have to do it again. Check to make sure you're in the single plane. And when you're ready, look toward the hand that's reaching up. Move around a little bit. See what you can find out about your range of movement. What could you soften now? You're feeling yourself moving into that robot mode. What could you soften? How can it dial back a little bit so you feel some ease here? This should be really accessible. Remember to exhale completely. It's such good yoga when we remember that. I can't emphasize that enough. It's such a good way to do it. Let's drop our chin through the center and go looking toward the other hand now. Same deal. You're exploring range of movement. You're going to move. You're going to feel. And this should be easy. This should be easy access. And if extending the arms has worn you out, you can still do the movement of your head and neck, can't you? You could have your hands on your lap and still move your head and neck. Inhale up with me, palms are coming together, open overhead. Exhale, bow to your heart. Let's take a pause right there. Just feel it in your body. Just thus far, with just these simple movements, feel how you've started to feel the prana starting to pump into your body. You can start to feel that aliveness. Inhale back up. Exhale all the way around. Let's just start with some shoulder rolls here. Hands could be on the lap. That's going to make it a little bit easier because there's just a little bit of weight of the arms we've taken away from this. So if you want to make a modification, that's a simple way to do it. And let's I'm going to turn to the side. You don't need to make a move at all. Let's let our shoulder roll bring us into the cat pose. I keep mixing up my cow and my cat. No, we're moving into the cow pose. We want to come from our shoulder roll into that arched back, into that extension of the spine. So that's an exaggerated way to do this shoulder roll. But let's see if we can feel that. I want you to feel the cow pose in your back body. So it's kind of neutral, and we come into much more movement. Let's keep the head very neutral. Try not to look up. Just keep your head neutral for now. So the movement is in the bulk of the spine here, not so much the neck. Last time. And then change that shoulder roll just for now. Just figure out the new way of the shoulder roll, rolling forward, keeping your arms close to your side body. But now I want you to see if you can add more movement into the spine so you can feel the cat show up, the round, angry cat of the back body. So there's going to be movement of the head here. I'm going to suggest you at least drop your chin down so you can get more roundness through the shoulder area and as much roundness in the back body as you can find, just by way of the shoulder roll. Breathing both in and out, just breathing naturally. But you feel yourself moving into it in kind of a neutral space and then moving into that. A couple more. Beautiful. Let's lose the block for now. I want you to put your block underneath the chair and open into a wide straddle, a wider position. Let's have heels in and toes are pointing away. Hands are on the thighs and you're going to move through. You can do a cat-cow here too. I want you to try that. So as you come forward, that's our cow pose. As you come back, that's your cat. See if you can move the body in that way here. Stay with the same direction. Just stay with it. We'll switch together. Try to get movement of the spine. Maybe you'll feel some movement. I'm feeling a lot of movement through the pelvic area. That feels nice. Kind of shifting from one side to the other. Let's meet in the forward movement. And we're going to move into that work of our perineum. So lower yourself down. Bring yourself into a diagonal line. The lower the better, because if you get some body weight into the floor of the pelvis, that's going to be more work, going to give you more toning by that efforting. So let's do it right now. Let's get her done. Elbows are squeezing into the sides. We're going to lift up as we inhale. Try to pull yourself up away from the chair. Exhale, soften and release. Keep your body in a diagonal line. The lower the better. So if you're able to come forward a little bit, you can feel how you've shifted into your legs. That's going to be more efforting. It's also going to have more benefit. So you decide where you want to do it. Remember to retain. So incorporate that. Inhale and hold it. And then exhale, release. But it's not something I can, time that for you. That's an inside job. So that retention is something you'll develop on your own and what your body is able and willing to do. Do at least 3 more with me, at least 3 more of those. Beautiful. And then let's come back up. Take a moment if there's any movement your body needs to reset. Now we're going to change the direction of our circular movement and we're going to go cat and cow again. So when you come back, you're feeling the roundness of the back. Come forward, let your chest bone lead the way. So you feel the shape of your back body taking on cow and cat. And before you know it, we've warmed up. We've done enough movement through the spine. We've got our breath going, our body is warmed up and our body will be more receptive to all the various ways that we initiate movement and stretching today. So it's a good way to start. Excellent. Let's come back up. And again, if there's any movement you need to adjust, let's find that now and bring your hands to your shoulders. I want you to just gently turn side to side. You can keep your head straight forward if you find you get a little dizzy or it feels a little off-putting to try to turn with this movement. You can do it by holding your head still, or if you're agreeable, your body has no problem just turning to look to one side and look to the other side, do that. And what's our intention here? It's the waistline area. I want you to feel a little more bendy through your side body. So you're kind of stretching out those oblique muscles, giving them some blood. It increases the circulation, and that's what makes us stiff and sore half the time is just because there's been so little movement. So we've got to invite movement back in it so the blood is flowing there. There's more oxygen where you need it. Come back to center. I want you to do some circles. Lift up those elbows real high. Bring them close together. Yep. Come up and bring them close together. Start with them close together and reverse the direction of that. Neutral position has us crisscrossing to the other, one side to the other. So we're going to incorporate a twist. Make sure you feel your feet to the floor here so your legs feel engaged. Even if it's just slightly engaged, that's better than nothing. I want you to turn your head a little bit more, invite some movement. So your head turns with your shoulders. Find your breath now. Notice it. Start to notice. Probably a quicker pace. Beautiful. Let's come back to center and release your arms very slowly all the way down so you can really feel the shift from just holding your arms up to the shoulder level and how different that feels when we allow them to rest back alongside the body. Good. I want you to hands to the waist. We're just going to do a little movement here that strengthens and supports low back. Let's do it simple. We've done it a variety of ways. Let's just move through it very quickly. So we're just stabilizing and strengthening the low back. Open wide. Take a moment before you switch to the other side now. If you need to hold the chair, hold onto the chair for more support. No problem. If you're looking for a challenge and a way to kind of keep on including more effort, in the way you're doing it, then you'll use your hands at the waist so that you can use your core support for this. That should do it for that. I want us to come back to center with the legs so we can get some movement of the legs and arms together now. So how about lifting up, lifting up. You're getting the feel of how that is. How heavy are your legs today? And here's what we're going to do with the arms. It's the arms will be bent like this. It's just creating a little right angle. So same bend, but one arm's in front, one arm's behind. Front arm, front leg. It will match up with the leg. So you get that? So front arm tells you what leg is going to lift. We bring it to the other side. So obviously we're going to switch. So see if you can just find the rhythm of movement where your front arm governs which leg is going to lift. Keep your body upright so you have a nice long spine. And find the breath that supports this. Nice deep breaths. Remember, you want a full exhale. Get your exhale going as much as you can at the pace that works for you. Take a pause here. Take a pause. We're going to add one more thing to that little sequence. So we've got our arms the same. We're still going to lift the leg. It's going to match. That's all the same. But now I want you to turn your head in the direction of the leg that's lifted. So turning the head is the thing we're going to do different. As you lift up, you turn your head. Find your breath. Right brain, left brain. This is what we're doing, is moving through these various energies, the way our body functions, and we're crossing over. It'll keep us sharp and alert, keep our body functioning well when we have access to that. Last time, feet to the floor. Maybe there's a reset here we need. Reset the body as you might need to do. Arms come up. Let's get those legs moving again. How about an extended leg forward? Both hands reaching for the foot, just alternating. Easy peasy. Now, can we just do opposite legs and arms? So you're just going to do some movements. Straight leg, opposite hand is reaching. And come all the way down. Let's switch sides. It's a straight leg forward. It's a straight arm extending. Deepen the breath. And everything down. Take a moment to reset the body. Make sure you're all caught up with your breath. There's nothing worse than when you feel like you can't take a breath. So catch up, catch up. And then something simple, it's still that crossover. I want you to simply lift your foot up to touch the heel or the inner ankle. Your opposite hand touches. And see if you can kind of keep this in motion. So it's not like, setting down, lifting up, but it's like moving, moving, moving. Stay with it. Find your breath. Last time. And then reset the body. Turn your head, make sure your shoulders feel good. Reset the body. Good. Let's start with a cross leg twist. So all we're going to do is stabilize our hips, get our legs to kind of bind together so we can find easy access to the upper body's twisting action. So let's start with the hands on the shoulders and just turn, because we're turning toward the top leg. So you're just turning, just gently allowing the turn to be organic. This is as much as you can turn when you just do it. You do here's where I landed. Now remember the ways we held our arms. Let's take that left arm behind your back and press your hand into, so the top leg, take that same side arm and bring it to press the back of the hand into your back body. And then, this arm is going to not exactly resemble that, but you get the idea. We're going to bring ourselves into that twist using sort of that arm movement that we practiced a moment ago. Deepen the breath. And be creative about how you can use your chair, how your chair might be able to support you here. My elbow is kind of pressing into the backrest of my chair, and it's kind of helpful. So it's keeping me in a nice upright position. Let's deepen that breath. Deepen it enough that you can feel the fullness of your exhale. Unwind your head and then your shoulders. And then we're just going to switch so we can set that same bound position of the legs up. Hands are going to start with just right here. We're just going to turn to see how we do. What's our natural, immediate range of movement that we can find? And if I've rushed you here, trust your body. You just wait and catch up with your breath and then approach this. That's the beauty of YouTube. You can pause it, catch up, and then you'll be all set. Okay, that's a good practice round. Now let's use our arms like we did. So top arm, the top leg governs which arm is going to reach back, and it's just that bent elbow. Pressing the back of your hand toward the back of the body, keep your body real upright, and move into your twist. Your front arm, that arm and hand, you use it the way it helps you. You can kind of wrap it around you in some way, kind of using your body as a way to leverage and stabilize. You might be able to hold onto the chair in some way, but do it in a way that is supportive and it doesn't feel like you're trying to bully yourself into a deeper twist than what is naturally available. Remember your breath, how your breath will help you. You can tell if you're pushing yourself too far because your breath is choppy and difficult. So check in there, see how the breath is. If it's nice and smooth, rhythmic, you know you're working within a safe range of movement. Exhale completely, and we'll turn the head out of that, and shoulders will follow. And let's move right into our figure 4. So I want you to cross that leg and bring your ankle. I want you to start with your foot. I want you to move those toes around, massage the balls of the feet. And I'm just giving you some general guidelines. I think your body is going to inform you quite well what you need to do here. But bring some loving awareness into your foot. We're trying to soften it up so it doesn't feel so hard, so tight. Your toes should be able to move. Your standing leg is important, so make sure you didn't tuck it underneath and You forgot all about what would be right alignment. Your knee should be in alignment over your ankle. See if you can find a nice upright position now. Let's move into the hip opening part of this. Hold on to your shin, hold on to your leg to bring your chest bone forward. There's a quick stop sign for me. I don't know about you. So I want you to move just through that particular range where as soon as your body says stop, that's where you do stop. But you're going to keep moving and seeing if repetition here, the movement forward and back, will invite a little more availability here. All of a sudden, the stop sign kind of moves back. It's not quite so quick to find it. You're able to come a little bit deeper. And I love that phrase, any amount. What if it's just a tiny bit that you were able to find a forward movement in this? Great, let's take it. Let's take it. Now, if you're game, release your hands so you're no longer holding on to the shin and to the leg. Instead, you're letting your upper body's weight come forward. So arms have draped past your shin. It's a full commitment here, isn't it? Your body weight has come forward. So there's lots of sensation. Stay with it now. Breathe into the intensity. Don't be afraid of it. Just breathe with it. Exhale completely. Just try to commit to that full exhalation. Now, we're going to use our arms to get up a little bit different. Extend your arms away from your leg. Let them extend all the way up and overhead. And exhale all the way around. Grab hold of that chair, get your foot to the floor, and then just practice bringing it back up and down. Back up and down. Beautiful. Let's try the other side now. We're going to cross over and bring it in for the massaging action. Make sure your standing leg is properly positioned, knee over ankle. There should be some balance in the pelvis, so any movement you might need to do in your chair seat, be sure to do it. Work on your toes, work on the balls of the feet, work on whatever your body is asking you to do. Connect with your breath. Catch up with your breath. And notice, what if your knee is kind of grouchy and this stretch into the knee with this lateral angle here? That's not common in everyday activity for most of us. So maybe you got to offer a little TLC to the knee. So pay attention to what your body needs. When you're ready, let's start that forward and back movement. So kind of keep your elbows drawing in towards your waistline. Hands are on your leg in some way, and bring your chest bone forward. Oh, there's the stop sign, and then you come back. So there's a rocking action, forward and back. Make it your chest bone that's moving forward. It's so tempting to let your face pull out. You get your chin way out, but that just takes your head and neck out of alignment with the spine. So we don't want that. We want to keep that alignment. Let the chest bone do the moving forward and back. Any amount. We're just looking with this repetition, this invitation to deepen and to open up and find a little more space in your hip, into the hip and buttocks. As I mentioned earlier, when we're finding tightness and resistance in the body, that's a clear indication that that part of your body needs more circulation. It needs more blood. It needs more oxygen. So movement is the ticket. That's how we invite more blood and circulation and oxygen into that area. It's movement. So let's give it what we can. If you're ready to deepen it, that would be you're extending your arms down past the shin. Chest bone leads the way. Lots of body weight forward here. Deepen the breath so you can feel the fullness of the cycle of breathing. Inhale and exhale. Sometimes that's our best strategy is I need a focus that I can stay with. The intensity in the body is kind of taken over here. I don't know if I can do it. Could you stay with the breath? Could you keep your awareness on breathing in and breathing out while you hold this shape in your body? Soften the mouth, relax your tongue. One more full breath. We're going to come out of it the same way we did on the other side. So extend your arms away from you and let those straight, strong arms lift you all the way back up and all the way down. We're going to hold on to the chair and bring that foot to the floor and back up, creating that pattern of movement. This also improves your range of movement in your hip by doing it. Beautiful. Let's get our hands to our waist. Let's get our feet as close together, our legs as close together as we're comfortable with, and scoot yourself out of the chair to standing. Land right back in the chair. Let's do it a few times. Just bring yourself up in a nice balanced way. And with legs together like that, it's a little more challenging in terms of the balance. Good. Let's meet standing up. Let's find our mountain pose. So soften the knees. Arms are real close to the sides and your hands are facing forward. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just for something different, I want you to be aware of your feet to the floor. Feel them. Now open your heels away from each other a little bit. So you feel like you're creating a little pigeon toe. Heels are a little bit further apart. Can you trace that up into your body and see if you feel anything different? Might not be real significant, but let's just hold it that way. Opening up the heels is going to change the bony structure all the way up, right into your hips. Slow down that breath now. Take a cleansing breath if you need to. Find your mountain pose. This is our stable, strong standing pose, the fundamental standing pose. And it gives us a wonderful opportunity to change our awareness of our breath into a full body experience of breathing. So use that intention now to breathe all the way through your body as you draw that inhale and exhale, release it. Let's use front side and back side of the body rather than left and right. This time our awareness is that the inhale is drawing through the front side of the body as you ascend, and descending that exhale. Be aware of the back side of the body, which we don't have a lot of awareness of, and I'm going to create a class about that so we can really focus on and paying attention to the back side of the body with just as much love and awareness. Full body now, full body breath. Exhale completely and open your eyes. I don't think I'm going to use the block, so I am going to move it out of the way. And let's turn the chair so we have the seat of the chair facing us and come close to it so we create that tabletop. So your hands are on the chair seat, your shoulders are right above the hands, so you're creating a tabletop with your back body. Now to leave your right foot right where it is and take your left foot back. Both legs are straight. And see if you can just, slightly bend your elbows to see about bringing yourself into a fold here. So you might pulse with that. You might start with arms straight. You feel that stretch and you kind of, okay, I'm going to give it a little more by bending those elbows ever so slightly. And that you keep returning to straight arms and bent elbows. That's one strategy of how to approach. You might at some point bring your forearms to the chair seat. So you're going to hold that perhaps. Just various ways you can approach this. One leg forward, one leg back, both legs are straight. It's a powerful stretch. And that's sometimes what this is called, is powerful pose. Keep your gaze at the chair seat. You don't have any reason to look at the screen, so keep yourself focused on the chair seat and how your straight legs are folding forward. If you find that you have quite a bit of flexibility here, you might bring your forehead to the chair. You might not need the chair for support, and you can bring your hands to the floor. So you explore what is available for you. Soften the mouth. Head, neck, and spine in alignment. So whatever variation you're choosing, try to move in such a way that it maintains head, spine alignment. Beautiful. Now let's step that right foot back and come into the downward dog. So now you'll start walking back. Hands are still on the chair. I want you to have a good touch. Your whole palm of your hand is on your chair seat. Your feet are straight and your feet are lined up. You don't want one foot in front of the other now. The feet are lined up parallel to each other, and we're creating that downward dog experience. Pull back with your hips and buttocks. Tuck your chin in towards your throat. Breathe deep. This is always a work in progress. You're always kind of pulling back. You might have to bend and straighten your knees to start to ease your way into that stretch. Big breaths always help. Let's start walking toward the chair. We're going to switch now. The right foot will be forward. The left foot is forward. The right foot is back. So we've switched. What front foot we've got here? You're in that tabletop. So you've got your shoulders right on top of your wrists and hands. And this is where we start to maybe bend the elbows and bringing our chest down toward that front leg. Maybe there's a little pulsing movement. Maybe you've started to open up and that it's pretty easy access to come to your forearms. So really pay attention to keep your gaze right here at your chair seat. You don't need to look at the screen. Deepen your breath. Your breath is your teacher. You don't have to use the chair. You could have your hands on the floor if you have that access. A wider stance might be another thing that you start to check out, try, see if that's going to give you the challenge you're looking for. Feel the fullness of that breath. 2 more cycles now. Stay with it. Feet are really grounded. Feel the ball-ons of your big toes here. Press the ball-ons of the big toes into the floor. Notice how that makes it feel different in your body. Let's bring ourselves upright now. Hands are going to remain on the chair. Take that left foot back and you're coming into your downward dog now. Make sure your feet are straight and they're even with each other. We don't want one foot in front of the other. Try to straighten out your legs as best you can. Arms as close to your head as possible. That's going to support your head neck alignment. Deepen the breath. Beautiful. Let's start walking toward the chair. Now, when you get to the chair, I want you to bend your knees like crazy. Think cat pose. Think angry cat. Round the back, really round the back. Let your chin tuck in towards your throat and start to come up one vertebrae at a time. And your head will be the last to lift. You start to lift vertebrae by vertebrae, and you're upright into your neutral position, our mountain pose. We're going to switch the chair so we have the back of the chair available for our support. For some leg swings that look like this is back to our idea of right side, left side of the body. We're going to cross over that center line. Let's start with a swinging of your right leg. At first, it swings past the front part of your leg. So you come past the left leg and then you go behind it. So you're going to lift it up and swing it over and bring it up and swing it behind. Keep your gaze on the chair. Don't look at the screen. Just find so there's much movement in that leg swing as you can. Maybe you can hike it way up. Maybe your lift is not very high at all. See what you can do. Lifting up, crosses in front. Lifting up, crosses in back. We're going to meet with a cross in front, So I've got my right leg in front. That means the right arm is going to lift up. Same side arm is going to lift up. Pressing, it's like your palm is trying to touch the ceiling, lift up. You can have a hand on the chair if you'd like, or you could take that left hand and grab your right wrist and lift up. And now just a little pull over to the side, just a bit. Feel your feet. You could always have a hand on the chair. You could always have both hands on the chair. Deepen the breath. Now let's come all the way out of that. We're going to stay with the same leg, lift it back up and swing it behind. And now the left hand is going to lift up toward the ceiling. And maybe you take your right hand and grab that left wrist. And you're pulling ever so slightly toward your right. Feel your feet, feel the thighs squeezing into each other for support and stability. Your gaze up, or you might decide you got to look somewhere else because of what your head and neck seem to need. So creating the drishti that works for you. Beautiful. Bring your hands back to the chair, gently unwind from that. Just unwind and we'll kind of shake it out one leg at a time. And then let's move to the other side. So it's just going to be a lift up, swinging in front, lift up, swing behind. See if you can add the way you turn your head. So your leg moves. Maybe you like to kind of follow that so you get lots of movement through the shoulders and the neck. Lifting as high as you can. It goes in front. It goes in back. All right, let's meet with the leg in front, swing it past, ground your feet. Maybe you want to move your feet a little closer together. So my left foot's on front, that's the one I'm going to lift up. Grab that wrist, pull toward the right a little bit, feel your feet. Feel how your neck wants to move. You're finding your drishti. And you're deepening the breath back to the fullness of breath in and out. Let's come back up, release gently where we have both hands on the chair. Stay with the same leg now. You're going to lift it up and come behind. Set yourself up again. Right hand, the palm reaches toward the ceiling. So it's the front leg, that's what's telling you. Front leg, use that same side to lift up. And let your other hand grab the wrist. And there's just this side pulling to the side, just moving into a nice side bend. Find your drishti and deepen the breath. Come all the way out, release. Let's get a hold of the chair and let's come into a nice forward movement of that L-shaped stretch that we like so well. Let's kind of hinge at the hips now, creating that extended forward fold. Arms should just skate right past your ears, head, neck, and spine in alignment. Your feet are parallel to each other and they're lined up. No, one foot is not in front of the other, they're lined up. When you start to come forward, I want you to take your right foot forward and bend into that knee. And keep the back heel down so you can find some stretch in the calf. This is going to be a pulsing movement where you just bend into the knee, keeping that back heel pressed down, but then you kind of soften that bend so you can feel the pulsing action as you stretch that back calf. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of places you're feeling a stretch, but that's the kind of what we're focusing on here, trying to invite that little more blood flow into the calf and into that heel, the Achilles part of the heel there. Let's meet with the knee bent. That back heel is grounded. Your hips are squared and they're facing the chair. Let's bring palms together at the heart. Create right alignment now. Shoulder girdle is right over your hips. So that front to back balance that we found when we were sitting, we can feel it right here. Inhale up, palms are together overhead. Big inhale, exhale at the heart, bow. Inhale up, and exhale, do a big circle sweep all the way around and get a hold of the chair. Step back to that extended fold. Deepen the breath, keep your eyes down, looking at the floor. Beautiful. We're going to take a big step forward now. As we walk forward, we're going to come up and get the left foot forward. Some pulsing, keep that back heel down. Pulsing action here. Stretching into the calf. Great. And then palms come together at the heart. See if we can balance our way in. Hips are squared. Inhale up. Exhale, bow to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale all the way around. Get a hold of the chair. Bring yourself forward. Shake out your legs. Wonderful. Let's come into the chair now. Let's find our Shavasana. So make your way into your chair where you're scooting yourself back, really allowing the chair to support you entirely. So if there's any props that you need, anything particular that helps you to enjoy this experience more, be sure to do it. Don't shortchange yourself. Be sure to do it. Take your time to get those things that give you the most, comfort and kind of the ritual that you've created. Stay with it. As soon as you're ready to settle in and you can close your eyes and cleanse that breath, start to soften the body. Mindfully now, aware that there's this softening invitation throughout the body. There's no part of you that you want to withhold that opportunity to soften and relax. Feel how the chair can support you. Keep your awareness on the breath for just a little while longer. When we start to wind down, there's a real temptation to start checking out, that our mind says, what's next? But the discipline of the yoga practice is that we give ourselves every minute of this, that we stay, we're just committed to that, we're disciplined to do that, to stay with the breath all the way to the end. Let your breath be as your breath is. And you follow it. You follow it. You're not going to, no more of the manipulation and the encouragement of this kind of breath or that kind of breath. Let your breath take over the lead. You follow it. In a reading for our consideration today, it begins with a quote from Henry David Thoreau. I came into this world not chiefly to make this a good place to live in, but to live in it, be it good or bad. To live is to open ourselves to possibility, to rule out nothing. There is no way we can spare ourselves or those we love the pains of living because they are inseparable from the joys. How grandiose we are when we think we can save the world. All we can do, and it's quite a lot, is to live the best way we can, achieving a balance amid the forces that pull on us. pleasure, responsibility, power, love. If we can live so that we respond to all of them, rule out none of them, and yet enslave ourselves to none, we will have the best the world can give. One quality all great people seem to share is humor, the capacity to see our struggles and triumphs with detachment. Not that our life is unimportant, but that it's only a part of the huge web of life on this planet. If we can keep our lives in balance, we won't get puffed up by any little triumph or squashed by a defeat. We'll keep on with our lives, confident that we're doing our best. Let me not forget, my chief business in life is living. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale it out of the mouth with a big sigh. Releasing all of them. Great practice today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's sync up our breath one last time. Inhale with me, palms are together overhead. Look up if you can. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up and exhale. Let's share this beautiful positive energy with our communities. Isn't that great? Palms come to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you, as always, for joining me.